Good evening, everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S exam prep. All of you must be waiting for CAT, but there must be some of you who must be starting your preparation for CAT 2022 as well. Okay, today I'm going to discuss that how to prepare for the DILR section from right now. Okay, CAT is an examination which requires extensive preparation. The earlier you start, the more advantage that you have, right? You can practice more, you can prepare better if you start now itself. So let us discuss that what are the things that you need to do in order to excel in the DILR section. It is the most considered as the most difficult section in the examination for the past few years now. So we will see that what are some of the things that you should start from right now so that you can do good in the examination. So this is the YouTube schedule of our channel. You can subscribe to our channel and watch these particular videos on these timings. Okay, and we are running this last lap to CAT 2021. So the ones who are preparing for CAT 21 can attend these classes on a daily basis. So let us look at the DILR section. How people say it is difficult. Is it really difficult? Right. If let's first talk about that. Is it really difficult? What score can you get at a certain? What percentile can you get at a certain score? Okay. So if you see the 99 percentile mark, which is the most talked about thing, right? People call that I am a 99 percentiler, right? So if you see this, like 34 out of 72. 53 out of 96, 44 out of 96, right? So this year the paper was extremely difficult, right? 2018 it was extremely difficult and it was moderate, so still the score was 53, right? 53 out of 96 gave you uh, some 99 percentile. Okay, so that means that you do not even need half of the marks in most of the cases, right? You see that less than half of the marks can give you 99 percentile. Okay, and people target, let's just say that people want 90 percentile in a section. So for that 90 percentile, one just needed 20 questions, 20 marks, that is 7 questions. Okay, this year it was 11 questions or 9 questions. So it shows that even in one third of the section, right, maximum, even if it is moderate, you need one third, or if it is a difficult paper, close to 30% will give you a 90 percentile. So if you are targeting a very high percentile, then it's a different thing altogether. But if you are targeting the cutoff score, let's say 90 percentile, 95 percentile, it is quite much achievable. Okay, so you can easily achieve that. Now, what should be the preparation strategy? In what order should you be preparing for this section, right? First, there are certain basic concepts, like for example, the basic concepts related to Venn diagrams, basics related to arrangements, how to make arrangements, basics related to cubes, right? Different topics. There are some topics which you need to cover, right? So you need to cover those basics, some basic principles. Okay, then I would suggest that please go through past year papers. Now the reason is you get the type of questions. You will be able to see the varieties that have appeared in the past. Okay, you will get a hint, right? You will get to know about the difficulty level. Right? What is the difficulty level of questions that have been asked in CAT? Is it CAT level? So that whenever you attempt some question, whenever you practice from somewhere, you know that, okay, this is what seems to be CAT level. This is what looks to be easy. And this is what which looks too extreme to be asked in CAT. So if you are attempting a mock test, so you know that CAT will never ask these kind of questions, right? So that you can judge the quality of mock test also based on that thing, right? So if you're preparing from some source, so you know that it gives you a relevant stuff for CAT. So go through past year papers. Then you can use online resources for additional preparation. Now this standard material could mean that if you are enrolled in some institute, right, that material, or it could be some books, It could be some book or it could be institute material. Let us say you are enrolled with BYJU'S exam prep. So we shall be providing you some study material, right? So that material you can refer to some books of DILR, right? Those are all basic materials. Then past year papers, then use some online resources. Like it could be, online does not mean that it can be only online, it can also be offline also, right? For example, mock tests, right? Then you can have sectional tests, like we at BYJU'S provide you mock tests, sectional tests, etc. Right? And then it could be some, maybe you are part of some groups of some community like a Facebook group, WhatsApp group, Telegram group, right? There are multiple sources and YouTube channels wherein you can get those stuff. Okay. Now make sure you practice a variety of questions. Now, when you go through past year papers, you will realize that every year the type of questions is quite much varying, right? There is no a definite kind of question that repeats, and it is full of surprises. So, the more variety you practice, the better you are prepared for this. Better you are prepared for this examination. Acha, while solving a question, make sure that you do not see the solution. We generally have the habit, right? We start seeing the solution. As soon as we see a question, we start seeing the solution. If you are unable to do, we see the solution, which is quite natural, right? Once you are not able to do. But for this section, this is a section that requires you to use your brains to the maximum. Okay. So instead of looking at the solution, as soon as you suppose you are unable to solve a set, that's perfectly fine, right? Give it another try. Don't give up, right? Maybe let's say you let's say the questions should have been done in 15 minutes. You take 30 minutes, right? If it does not work in 30 minutes, give 1 hour, because you can afford this time. You have enough time for the examination. You have more than a year, right? So even if it takes 1 hour, even if it takes 2 hours, you can try that. Don't leave that question, right? Try it on your own, because the more you try, the more you keep trying, you will learn the ways, what are wrong ways to attempt that question. You will figure out the ways that what are the mistakes that you are committing, right? You will learn about your mistakes. You will learn about the mistakes and incorrect ways. So next time if you fall into such kind of situation, you understand that yes, these are the mistakes that I was committing, right? I should not be committing such a mistake. You will learn many things out of it. Okay, what are the things not to do while solving a question? So if you make this habit, you will realize that you will gain that mode of self-discovery. You yourself will figure out solutions to the questions. Okay. On the other hand, if you just see the solutions, you do not know how could the question go wrong. And for the examination, right, no one can master all topics. I mean, not no one, but very few people can master all the topics. But most of the people are there who have mastery over certain things. Let us say DILR is a mixture of data interpretation, logical reasoning, okay, and mix of both. My data interpretation part is strong, right? I'm good with numbers, so I can handle database questions well. So that is my core competency. Rather than solving, let's say, a question on seating arrangement, I may not be very good at it. Yes, I can do it, but I'll be better off with some number based puzzle, right? So identify your strengths, and this will happen only when you practice. You will understand that what are the topics. Let us say you are good with Venn diagrams, right? No matter what type of question comes in Venn diagram, you have very high accuracy, right? So that is your strength. So when you enter the exam, when you appear in a test or when you give the actual examination, find those topics in the examination. See, all 5 sets or 6 sets, whatever be the number of sets, that are going to be from different topics. You will not have all questions on Venn diagram. You will not have all questions on games and tournaments. You will not have all questions on data interpretation. It will be mix of topics. So if you have identified that these are the topics I have mastery at, now you can sort those and attempt in the paper, right? Attempting all questions is very difficult, but if you decide ki, acha, first set I will attempt this topic, second this, third this, so at least you have that, you get the order of attempting questions. Right now, what happens in other sections is, if you talk about quant has individual questions, right? So these are loose ones. But if you talk about DILR, you have group questions, right? So you can order the sets. You generally solve a set, right? If you're solving a question, you are not solving question individually, you're solving the complete set. So you can make the order of sets if you understand your strengths. And in the paper, you should always spare a few minutes to see the sets asked in the paper, right? So maybe it is 3-4 minutes. Spare that time to identify the sets. As I said, you can't do the entire paper. It will be it's a very rare thing. But the mistake that people do is they start from what they see in the beginning. That's how they lose time, because they might get trapped in something which they were not comfortable with. But if you spare a few minutes, these minutes will give you an advantage that you will know that which are the sets that I should attempt. So it is like, it is not something that you take 2-3 minutes to solve, right? A set will take 10, 15, 20 minutes to solve, right? So if you took the wrong set, then you are gone. Let's say let's say you attempted a set which took you 25 minutes. Right, if you do one set in 25 minutes, you are left with only 15 minutes. Okay, out of 40 minutes, 15 minutes. Now you could do only 2 sets in the paper. Suppose you were able to finish 2 sets. On the other hand, let us say you did A, B, there was 5 sets, A, B, C, D, E. Right, you did not check any of the sets, you did this, and you left these 3 sets. Second scenario, there were 5 sets, A, B, C, D, E, and you spent these 5 minutes to check, right? You took 5 minutes to check the sets that which are the doable ones. Then you realize that set D can be done in 12 minutes, and eventually you did it, right? Set E took 13 minutes, okay, and then set B took 15 minutes, okay, or set C was 18-minute set, this was somewhat 25-minute set. So you picked these 2 sets, right, and tried your best to cover this also. Maybe you were able to out of these like not in 40, maybe you were able to do it faster. Let us say you knew that you can do this, right? So you took 11 minutes to do this, 12 minutes to do this, and 12 minutes to do this. So you were able to do 3 sets when you checked it in the beginning, right? So this is much better than this, right? Although you spent 5 minutes in this, right? 5 minutes is more. I would say 3 to 4 minutes is sufficient for that. You were able to solve 3 sets. Okay, so that's a better strategy. Now let us see what you should do beyond the books, right? Books, okay, you can prepare using books, right? But what are the things, other sources from which you can prepare for this section? So this is full of surprises, right? It can ask you from any topic. You cannot say that this is the topic that they are going to ask, right? They can ask you from cubes, right? You cannot ignore anything. They can ask you from games and tournaments. They can ask you some sort of seating arrangement. It could be some number puzzle. It could be some data interpretation of some graph, right? Any sort of graph. It could be like scatter plot, or it could be a simple bar graph, right? But the level of questions could be different, right? Sometimes maybe it's a bar graph, but the difficulty level is difficult, right? So you do not know which topic are they going to ask you from. They can ask you from any of the topics. Okay, now apart from these topics, there are puzzles that people have not encountered before, right? Every year you see there are random sort of puzzles that are tested in the paper. So I would recommend that there are some puzzle books. I'll name them also, right? You should practice these. Like for reading comprehension, what you do? People say, no, verbally you should read books, you should read newspapers, right? But you do not read passages, isn't it? You solve from other sources, and you do not read question and answer. You read books to improve your reading ability. So solve puzzle books. Okay, there are hundreds of interview puzzles online, right? attempt those puzzles, so you will understand some different kind of logics that they test. Okay, you should also do number puzzles, right? Like Sudoku, Kakoro, etc. There are can I mean you can search these number puzzles, Sudoku, Kakoro. They will give you tens of number puzzles. Try solving those puzzles that build your mental muscles. So it's like going to a gym, right? When you go to a gym, you develop your physical muscles. And when you do these activities, you develop mental muscles. That is what is required to ace this section. And uh, you must be doing some activity, and as you see that data analysis everywhere these days, right? Maybe you are a cricket watcher. There are some people who love cricket, and there is a lot of data on cricket, right? Lot of statistics and all. Okay, and also apart from this, you can have let's say you are some digital marketer. Okay, so you can see this. You can analyze those data points. Okay. Now I was talking about some puzzle books, right? These are some recommend uh, puzzle books, right, that are there. Okay, the Great Book of Puzzles and Teasers by George Summers. Okay, Puzzles to Puzzle You by Shakuntala Devi. More Puzzles to Puzzle You by Shakuntala Devi. This is these are two books. And then there is Algorithmic Puzzles by Ananya Levitin and Maria Levitin. So these are some books which I would recommend these, and this is a higher level, this is a lower level. I mean, you can do both of them. So these are some books that you must uh, do, right? You have enough time to prepare for the examination. You can go through the puzzles, right? And these will build your thinking ability. And apart from that, I would suggest some sites as well. These are some sites: brilliant.com, Braingle, Brainzilla, Puzzle Baron. These are some sites from which you can prepare for this section. Okay, I mean, not as a section, but these are some sort of puzzles which will help you develop mental ability, right? These are tests that test your mental ability. Now, Brilliant is also good for quant, right? It is also good for your quant also, because it has mathematics and logic, science and everything, right? So you can get good puzzles from this site. Okay, and these are some other ones. Okay, go through these sites. They will not have questions that you will get in the examination, but solving these puzzles will help you build your mental ability. Now I was also talking about some number puzzles, right? Now how these how these number puzzles help you. I'm sure that you must have solved Sudoku. So Sudoku helps in your elimination ability, right? Let us say if you have to find that, let's say if I ask you where will 8 be placed in this, right? So you will say 8 will not come here, 8 will not come here, 8 will not come here, so 8 will come here. What we did, we eliminated the possibilities, isn't it? It is not a number puzzle. You do not need to know our numbers, right? I can use A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H also in its place, right? It is not about number. It is about your learning the possibilities of elimination. So when you solve such puzzles, you learn this ability, right? How to eliminate options. I mean, how to eliminate cases. In this, what we have to do? We have to eliminate cases, right? 8 cannot come on these places, so 8 will come here. Similarly, if you have a matrix of things given, so you can say that, okay, A cannot be present, B cannot be present, C cannot be present, so it will be D, right? If it is not this, there are two possibilities. So you learn the thing of elimination. Okay. Then next you have Kakuro. Kakuro is kind of a number puzzle that gives you possibilities related to numbers. Okay. Now, if I say that like we have to insert numbers from 1 to 9 such that this is their sum. So 3 should be the sum of these two numbers, and these two numbers should add up to 4. So if I use 3 can be written as 1 plus 2 and 4 can be written as 1 plus 3. So if I write 1 and 2, I cannot make 4. So I'll have to write 2 and 1. 2 1 is 3, 1 3 is 4. So this is how we fill the values. Now here, how will these help you? These will help you in number based problems. like games and tournaments, right? Games and tournaments, what you do, you say that okay, this score is not possible, this score is not possible, so this score will fit. These are the number of points a team can score. Okay, so all those problems wherein numbers are involved, that can be solved when you practice such problems. You develop that ability to solve number related problems. So in order to assist you with your preparation, these are the mentors at BYJU'S Exam Prep who teach you for these examinations. And they have years of teaching experience, and they have mentored several students for CAT and other MBA entrance examinations. And we have online classroom programs for CAT 2022. If you are starting your preparation now, you can enroll with us, and you can prepare with us for this examination, and can excel in the exam. So I hope this video was helpful for you to understand that how to prepare for DILR, right? It's always good to have a early start, right? If you start early, you have more time to do things. As I said, that you can do prepare beyond the books. The ones who start late, what they do is they just go through the books, and if something surprising comes up in the examination, they just get nervous. They are unable to tackle those problems. But I told you certain books, right? It's George Summers, I told you about Shakuntala Devi book, right? I told you about some puzzle sites, right? So you have excessive sources to prepare from. So if you start early, start doing things apart from the books also, so you have a lot of things to prepare. You will develop yourself mentally. You do not have to do particular type of question, right? Your mental ability should be strong. You should be strong analytically. Your thinking ability should be very quick, that what, no matter what something new turns up in the paper, you should be able to think that yes, this is the way to approach this problem. And this can be built by following these guidelines, that are not only solving past year papers but also doing puzzles and all. So I hope you would start well on time, and that will help you do better in the examination. So I wish you all the